Hi, I'm Kerwin from Catapult, and I have Cassie Buckroyd from Columbia Sportswear Company today. And I wanted to ask her a few questions about getting started with the wellness program. I know Columbia Sportswear Company has a really robust program. I know that you're always wanting to improve it, but how did you guys get started, and what's your advice to someone in HR that's just getting going with their program?
Yeah, so I started at Columbia a little over 4 years ago and was the first person that they'd hired in the wellness program manager position. And they had some things going with fitness and things like that, but it was kind of overwhelming to walk into an employer with 5,000 U.S. employees and try to figure out what's going on, let alone an employer that already has kind of an active brand.
Right.
So I really just started with an assessment, and it took me a good 6 months to do this assessment. As I said to you earlier, no one really knew that I was even there for the first 6 months. So I looked at what data I could get my hands on, health plan data, they'd done some health risk assessment campaigns, so I did have health risk assessment data. I got a lay of the land and interviewed some of our employees internally and other teams, and really just figured out kind of where the strengths were and where the gaps were, and identified maybe 3 or 4 areas to get started.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So from there, how did you determine what was the first place to start and where to get going?
The first things I found was that our communications were kind of a mess. And so it was really some of those really foundational things. So I focused on our marketing brand of the wellness program. I changed that up quite a bit and looked at how things were being communicated and kind of fine-tuned those things. I figured out that we were strong in the fitness, pretty strong in nutrition, and so I looked at kind of those unconventional wellness topics that we could implement that to kind of engage employees. And so we started with things like mindfulness and financial wellness and things that were a little bit outside of the box to kind of get interest and get people's attention. It really worked.
Awesome. So my final question is, as you're doing all this, how do you evaluate what's working, and how do you know if it's worth continuing on?
Well, it's, I have the benefit of being there on site, and so I can see how things are going. I do track participation in lots of our programs on an ongoing basis. I'm creating really quick, easy surveys in like SurveyMonkey and sending out surveys, kind of doing pulse surveys, and that gives me a lot of really valuable insight. I get a lot of ideas that way. Employees kind of give me their ideas and just kind of look at the data, not necessarily outcomes data, but just participation. And I have a wellness committee, and so they're my sounding board, things like that.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing these tips with us today.